Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Labour Ministry probes alleged abuse of Indian workers. HRIM given 24 hours to respond as passports returned. Wet ink SOPs claim rocks election fraud case. Increased transportation fares not approved, says Minister EDGHILL. And 94-day parliamentary shutdown IRKS forward Guyana movement. International bodies notified. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Tuesday, May 19 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. The Ministry of Labour and Manpower Planning says it has launched a formal investigation into alleged abuse, poor working conditions, and possible labour violations involving dozens of Indian nationals employed by India headquarters HRIM Earth Resources Management in Region 7. More details in this report. According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Labour and Manpower Planning on Monday, a joint team comprising officers from the Ministry, the Guyana Police Force, the Trafficking in Persons Unit, and other authorities have been mobilized to investigate alleged abuse, poor working conditions, and possible labour violations of dozens of Indian nationals employed by India headquartered mining company HRIM. The ministry said Labour Minister Keoma Griffith met with Acting Indian High Commissioner to Guyana, Manoj Kumar, before entering discussions with the aggrieved workers and representatives of the mining company. One of the major concerns raised during the engagement was the alleged withholding of passports belonging to the foreign workers. However, the ministry says that issue has now been rectified and all passports have since been returned to the workers following the intervention by the minister. The ministry further revealed that allegations of poor working conditions and unfair treatment were leveled against the employer, prompting officials to give the company a 24-hour deadline to respond. Authorities are also investigating allegations surrounding the reported death of one of the workers on May 12, 2026. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the We Invested Nationhood Party, Odessa Primus, whose party first brought public attention to the issue, said the situation has left a damaging impression of Guyana in the eyes of the affected workers.
Every person who comes to this country, and the Minister of Tourism is speaking about, people coming here and about how hospitable we are. But every person that comes here leaves with an experience. And the experience that we have, a whole 38 people coming here, including the man who's dead, 39, the other one who lost his fingers, 40 people that we can speak to. There are 40 families out there in the world who can only speak negative about us.
Primus said despite the allegations, it appeared to be business as usual for the company's operators, while the workers and others allegedly treated unfairly would now leave Guyana with a bitter taste about the country.
And for me, that is very alarming because this man's business is going on as we speak. Every single business that he has in this country should have been shut down and an investigation launched immediately. But this man is able to carry on his business. There has been not a word coming out of anybody as it relates to government officials. And this, for me, is very, very, very concerning.
She further argued that the responsibility ultimately rests with the Ministry of Labour, insisting that authorities should have intervened immediately once the allegations surfaced.
While the company is at fault in this instance, the ministry also has a responsibility to hold these companies accountable. And so what we have seen is a failure on their part as well.
The workers claimed their salaries were also withheld, food and drinking water denied, and that they were subjected to unsafe working and living conditions. They told the Labour Ministry that they were even threatened and locked up at the quarry while management allegedly demanded $5,000 from each worker before allowing them to leave. The ministry says investigations are ongoing and further updates will be provided as the probe continues. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Government has not approved increases in public transportation fares, says Minister EDGHILL. You'll have more details in this report.
as of now, there is no increase in fares.
That was Minister of Public Works One EDGHILL during an engagement at the Stabroek Market Square on Monday. During the engagement and the subsequent press statement, Minister EDGHILL reminded that the government of Guyana has explicitly stated it has neither approved nor sanctioned any increase in fares across all modes of public transportation, including minibuses, hire cars, speedboats, and airport taxis. EDGHILL, who is responsible for the transport sector, also strongly reiterated this position on Monday during a direct engagement with public transportation operators.
And no Guyanese citizen, no tourist, no child, no worker, or anyone is forced to pay.
He further clarified that no driver has the authority to put a passenger out of their vehicle for refusing to pay unapproved fares. He said if commuters are forced to pay an increase in fare or subjected to harassment, a report should immediately be made to the relevant authorities and decisive action will be taken. While government ministers and other officials met with operators and owners on Monday to address the growing reports of arbitrary increases, Member of Parliament and the Partnership for National Unity member Vince Roy Jordan, during an exclusive interview with Nightly News on the issue, said the facts on the ground is that transportation fares countrywide have increased.
What the government should assure Guyanese is how they will not be made to pay those increases in transportation costs.
Further to that, he said the government must be able to show clearly through implemented policies and measures how it would reduce both the costs of operation and transportation, ensuring a level playing field for both operators and commuters. Jordan reminded that the increase in fares has caused even greater hardships on the daily survival of Guyanese. Commuters on Monday were reminded that public transportation is classified as a public utility and passengers are legally protected against price gouging. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity Party, Simona Brooms, has embraced Dr. Terence Campbell's call for a political coalition in order to defeat the People's Progressive Party, Civic. Antonio Day is on this story.
And I think now more than ever, because the history will show that it was always a coming together of different parties and individuals to topple the PPP government.
That was Dr. Simona Brooms, leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, embracing the call for coalition to defeat the incumbent at the regime by Dr. Terence Campbell. Brooms, in an exclusive interview with Nightly News, noted that this discussion highlights the historical patterns, current political realities, and the potential for building stronger, more transparent coalition governments. Coalitions at the AP and UAFC in Guyana unite diverse parties to displace the PPP government. The National Assembly's current seat distribution of 36, 16, 12, and 1 highlights the fragmented nature of political alliances. This shift from 2011 one-seat majority has notably affected parliamentary proceedings. Brooms recap, where Parliament under the Donald Ramatari regime was prorogued. She noted, one critical insight, according to Brooms, is the importance of learning from the past coalition models, which were effective.
There's evidence that you can learn from and really build to have a stronger and a more open and transparent government in form of a coalition. Yes, you maintain your identity, but it must be government.
Brooms, a former minister under the AP and UAFC coalition, highlighted her efforts to collaborate with parties such as AFC, AP, and UNVPA to foster cooperation. Brooms, at this juncture, noted that such alliances promise more stable and transparent governance, addressing national needs while respecting diverse identities. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
This Saturday and Sunday, come down to Gafour's all-new Home and Office Center, upstairs of the MacDo Mega Complex. We got everything to fix up your place. Recliners, TVs, refrigerators, chandeliers, kitchen appliances, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, toys, back-to-school bags, all under one roof at prices you can't beat. We open Saturday from 7:30 to 4 and Sunday from 9 to 4. And here it is. You getting 10% off store-wide every Sunday. So don't miss this opportunity to save big. Call 223-9896 or come down this weekend to Gafour's all-new Home and Office Center, upstairs of the MacDo Mega Complex. Gafour's, the name you can trust. See you there.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News, a developing story. A revelation in the ongoing elections fraud trial has raised eyebrows about the integrity and the chain of custody of statements of poll from the contentious March 2020 general and regional elections. The testimony could prove pivotal to the case since original wet ink entries are traditionally expected to appear only on GCOM's official copies of the statements of poll. You'll have more details in this report. The courtroom fell silent as Bibi Anisha Mohammed, the People's Progressive Party Civic Chief Data Analyst, during the March 2020 elections, delivered testimony, now being viewed as one of the most significant moments yet in the ongoing elections fraud proceedings. Under intense cross-examination by Defense Attorney UC Anderson before Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti, Mohammed testified that some of the 2,339 SOPs handed over to her by PPPC party agents contained original or wet ink writing along with duplicates and carbon copies. Appearing before Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti, Mohammed was repeatedly questioned by Defense Attorney UC Anderson about the nature of the statements of poll that were allegedly in the PPPC's possession shortly after Election Day. After Anderson pressed the issue twice, Mohammed admitted under oath that among the 2,339 SOPs provided to her by PPPC polling agents, some appeared to contain wet ink or original handwriting. She further testified that some of the documents were duplicates, while others appeared to be carbon copies. When asked whether the ink was blue or black, Mohammed said she could not recall the color, but maintained that she distinctly remembered seeing what appeared to be original or wet ink markings on some of the SOPs. The revelation immediately triggered concerns because SOP duplicate distributed to political parties are generally expected to be copies, not originals containing fresh ink entries in the vote tally sections. According to established electoral procedure, original wet ink entries would ordinarily exist only on GCOM's official copies. The defense is now questioning how SOPs allegedly containing original ink markings could have ended up in the possession of the PPPC as early as March 3, 2020, the very date Mohammed testified she began receiving the documents. Before the disclosure about the SOPs, Mohammed also testified about her rise within government, telling the court she moved from being director of the Learning Channel to director of government efficiency within the office of the president after being appointed directly by President Irfan Ali. She stated that she never had to apply for the position. The courtroom proceedings grew even more tense when Mohammed later appeared to backtrack on her earliest testimony regarding the wet ink markings. However, Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti reportedly intervened during submissions by Prosecutor Ramprasad and ruled that Mohammed's initial answer regarding the ink would remain part of the court record. The case is before the court because the government has accused several former senior GCOM functionaries of election fraud. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. In a series of formal dispatches sent on Monday to international organizations, Forward Guyana Movement has condemned what it terms an over 90-day parliamentary shutdown. The party believes a broader pattern of democratic erosion, restricted media freedom, and stymied opposition representation is afoot.
Leader of Forward Guyana Movement, FGM, and Member of Parliament Amanzo Walton this year, has spearheaded an international appeal by dispatching formal correspondence to the leadership of several regional and international bodies. Among the recipients of the party's correspondence are the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, IACHR, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, the Organization of American States, OAS, and Parliamentary.
Parliament has not met for a far longer period than we are allowed by the standing orders to be in recess.
The MP said the diplomatic community has also been put on notice since their direct attention is required. According to the party, the National Assembly has not convened for a single sitting since the 2026 national budget was passed on February 14, 2026, a legislative hiatus that has now stretched to 94 days. The movement notes that no formal resolution extending any recess has been published, nor has any public constitutional or procedural justification been offered by the government for the prolonged absence.
I think the opposition MPs need to mount a protest outside of outside of Parliament buildings. That's what I think.
The FGM contends that this legislative freeze directly violates the core tenets of the nation's foundational laws, arguing that the prolonged failure to convene Parliament underlines the constitutional principle of representative democracy enshrined in Article 9 of the Constitution of Guyana, which vests sovereignty in the people exercisable through their elected representatives and democratic organs. Furthermore, they pointed out that the legislative standstill is happening precisely when oversight is needed the most. Meanwhile, in an interview last Friday with Nightly News, MP Director Fernandes, representing a Partnership for National Unity, lamented the fact that the Public Accounts Committee is inoperable in light of the Auditor General's report on the Cato School dormitory fiasco.
It is incredibly unsettling that right now this Parliament is yet to convene the Public Accounts Committee. We're talking about matters that are being raised in the Auditor General's report.
According to Fernandes, the absence of these committees significantly weakens Parliament's ability to provide continuous scrutiny of government policy, administration, and expenditure at a time when institutional vigilance and transparency are critically important. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
GPL is moving to recover costs from S. Joseph Transportation and Machinery Rentals after an excavator operating at Grove East Bank Demerara damaged the transmission line and triggered widespread power interruptions across parts of Demerara and Berbice on Monday. More details in this report.
The power company said the incident occurred around 10:17 when the L1 transmission line, which links the Garden of Eden and Grove substations, suffered a system disturbance. That disturbance forced both substations offline and created an estimated 37 megawatt shortfall on the electricity network. The impact was immediate, with thousands of customers losing power as GPL's system adjusted to the sudden deficit. After inspecting the line, GPL's technical teams found that an excavator had encountered the transmission infrastructure at Grove. The machine was being operated by Garfield Hines at the time of the incident. The company said the contact damaged critical infrastructure and caused the disruption. GPL said its teams began repowering efforts shortly after the disturbance, restoring electricity gradually across affected communities. The final affected area was returned to service at about 11 hours 37. The company has since launched a formal investigation into the incident and says the contractor responsible will be pursued for compensation to cover the damage to its transmission infrastructure. GPL also used the incident to remind the contractors that heavy-duty work near transmission and the distribution lines must be properly coordinated with the company. It warned that unsafe or unauthorized activity near its assets can damage critical infrastructure, interrupt service, and endanger public safety. Monday's outage comes shortly after another major infrastructure damage case involving China Railway First Group Guyana Incorporated. GPL had said it was seeking more than $30 million from that company after an excavator damaged the L10 transmission line at Sophia, Greater Georgetown. That earlier incident disrupted electricity supply to tens of thousands of customers after the line linking the new Georgetown and the Sophia substations was struck during construction works. GPL had given the company 14 days to pay, but it remains unclear whether the money was settled. At a Public Utilities Commission hearing in March, Chairman Dr. Nanda Gopal said those responsible for damaging public utility infrastructure should be made to pay. GPL officials had also indicated that the company was working with the police to ensure offenders face legal action. The latest incident now places renewed focus on contractor responsibility, safety planning, and the need for better coordination before works are carried out near power lines. Marvin Cato, reporter for HGP Nightly News.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Oil is transforming Guyana's economy, and it's happening fast. According to the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, in 2023, more than 95% of Guyana's extractive sector revenue came from oil and gas production in the Stabroek Block, operated by ExxonMobil Guyana and its partners. At the same time, traditional sectors such as mining, forestry, and fisheries continue to play an important role in supporting livelihoods and national development, alongside the expanding oil and gas industry. Since oil production started offshore, oil and gas companies have been investing in the long-term development of Guyana. For more updates, visit www.oilnow.gy.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. Antonio Day will tell you now that through targeted medical outreaches, Own Your Strength organization is committed to ensuring that every individual in Guyana has access to self-wellness care and other opportunities from May 19 through 24. He sat down with members of the organizing team and has more details.
Dr. Don Ramsey II, Doctor of Nursing Practice and founder of the Own Your Strength Corporation, OIS, is spearheading a vital medical and educational outreach initiative in our homeland of Guyana this May. OIS, a non-profit organization focused on empowering underserved communities, will activate its mission from May 19 to the 24th, which brings together a diverse team of professionals committed to serving communities with passion, equity, and respect. Dr. Ramsey II, during an interview with Nightly News, explained the objectives of the medical outreach.
We know that there is a high statistics with men with prostate cancer because there's this preconcept that Once you have to get a PSA testing, you have to have something that's invasive. And it's not. It could be just as simple as a blood being drawn as a PSA.
This year's outreach conducted a partnership with the Guyana Nurses Association, Stride 592, the Guyana Kidney Foundation, and the Guyana Diabetic Foundation, which aims to strengthen healthcare delivery, support frontline workers, and uplift communities across the nation. Dr. Ramsey Descent noted that it's important for Guyanese to understand that their health must be prioritized. She highlighted too that a speech pathologist will be on site.
Like if we have a family member that's concerned about a child who have a speech impairment, they can come out. We have a speech pathologist. We're going to have someone listening, doing a hearing testing.
Ms. Corinne Jervis, OIS Vice President, noted that the week-long activities begins with official collaborations with healthcare leaders, followed by visits to key institutions such as Georgetown Public Hospital and the New Amsterdam Hospital, senior homes and orphanages. Jervis debunked the misconceptions that one has to be sick in order to do medical checkups and reasoned that prevention is better than cure.
We want you to own your strength. We want you to be bold, to ask the questions. Right? We want you to be resilient because no matter what, it's not a death sentence because you're told I have cancer, right? It's not. But it can be if you wait too late.
A key highlight will be the community health screening outreach on May 22nd at Bethel Congregational Church in Bedford-Acton, where residents will receive vital screenings and health education. On May 23rd, the Linen Bus Park will host a health and wellness fair alongside a 5K and 2K walk, designed to foster community spirit and promote health awareness. Participants will receive free screenings for blood pressure, glucose, body mass index, known as BMI, vision, hearing, and mental health, along with wellness demos like yoga and nutrition education. A mental health booth will promote healing, and walk and run will raise awareness for breast, prostate, and pancreatic cancers and mental health. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Guyana's banking sector is preparing for a major shift with a new real-time payment system set to go live on June 2, 2026, and 3 international financial institutions now licensed to operate in the country. Here is more.
President Irvin Ali delivering remarks at the Ghana Bank for Trade and Industries 190th anniversary dinner at the Ghana Marriott Hotel in Georgetown on Saturday said a new real-time payment system for the banking sector will soon be introduced. The new payment system, called Faster, is expected to allow customers at participating banks to send and receive money instantly using mobile phones or internet banking platforms. According to the president, transactions that once depended on clearing cycles or branch-level processing will soon be completed within seconds.
This represents the most significant upgrade of Guyana's payments infrastructure in recent history. Once operational, customers of all participating banks will be able to send and receive funds instantly.
He said Faster and UPI together will place Guyana at the forefront of digital financial transformation in the region, creating a faster, safer, and more inclusive payment environment for citizens and businesses.
The system is expected to significantly reduce reliance on cash, lower transaction costs for households and businesses, and dramatically improve the speed and convenience of everyday financial activity.
While some institutions will not be involved in retail deposit taking, Ali said their presence will expand Guyana's access to international capital markets, trade, finance, corporate advisory services, and development financing.
Guyana's integration into this system through its partnership with the government of India will significantly broaden the country's digital payment ecosystem. Together, these two initiatives will position Guyana at the forefront of digital financial transformation in the region.
Ali also praised GBTI, saying the institution is already positioning itself for what he called a golden era of banking. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Guyana, up your cash. Over 100 winners. More than $2.5 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Win cash every week. Plus a chance to up your cash to $500,000. And that's not all. Win back your grocery bill up to $20,000 cash every week. Just grab any Buster Turbo Energy Drink, Fruitopia, Oasis flavored water, Fruita, or Viva Sparkling flavored water. Look for the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana on Facebook or Instagram for details. Up your cash today.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. If you have moved to a new address since you were registered, you are required to update your address by applying for a transfer to ensure your address is accurate. Where to apply for a transfer? Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to apply for a transfer. When to apply for a transfer? You can apply to have your address updated during this national registration exercise. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. The office hours for GCOM are permanent registration offices open Monday to Thursdays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 16 hours 30, and on Fridays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome to today's edition of the Regional News. I am Gisela Archibald. Thank you for joining us. Cuba's leader warned yesterday of a bloodbath in the event of an American attack as the United States Treasury issued sanctions targeting Cuba's main intelligence agency and top leaders as tensions spiked between the longtime rivals. President Miguel Diaz-Canel stressed the island's right to defend itself a day after a U.S. news site reported that Havana had obtained over 300 military drones from Russia and Iran and is mulling using them against U.S.-based at Guantanamo Bay in eastern Cuba, among other targets. The report, which quoted U.S. officials, came amid growing speculations that the United States is weighing military action to topple Cuba's communist government. Almost 1 year after the government announced the plans for the full rollout of Belize's long-awaited National Sex Offenders Registry during a May 2025 House meeting, the system is yet to be realized or formally implemented. Different administrations have been toying with the idea of having a sex offenders registry since November 2018, when an official launch was organized. However, the Office of the Special Envoy of Development for Families and Children has renewed calls for national urgent attention on the matter. In a press release, the office described the establishment of a national sex offenders registry as critical to protecting women and children from sexual abuse, exploitation, and violence. The statement urged that the identities of convicted sexual offenders should not remain hidden, while vulnerable groups continue to face threats, including from individuals placed in positions of trust and authority. And internationally, 2 teenage gunmen opened fire on Monday at the Islamic Center of San Diego, California, killing a security guard and 2 other men outside the mosque before the suspects were found dead, apparently from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. San Diego police chief said local law enforcement and the FBI were investigating the attack on the largest mosque in San Diego County as a hate crime. However, no precise motive of the gun violence has been publicly suggested by authorities. All of the children attending a day school at the mosque complex were accounted for and safe after the shooting, said officials. And that's the news to the moment. Thank you for joining us.
Let's join Delvin Neblet now for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwin Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Tuesday, May 19, 2026.
We begin tonight with athletics. National sprinter Thalia Hinkson, like compatriot Malachi Austin, is now a 2026 SEC Outdoor Games champion. Representing the Louisiana State University while competing at the Auburn University's Hutzel-Rosen track on Saturday, Hinkson delivered an excellent start in the women's 4x100 meters to propel her team to an emphatic championship victory. Into cycling, national cyclists Andre Green, Ajani Cutting and Kwame Fortune delivered outstanding performances while competing in Barbados over the weekend. Featuring in the prestigious Valley Blitz Road Race while representing Team Kitro Attack Racing, Green and Cutting displayed their immense talent despite not making the podium, while Fortune dominated in the veterans category to secure a first-place finish. Into badminton, action concluded in Guyana's 60th Independent Anniversary Badminton Tournament at the National Gymnasium in Georgetown on Sunday. Shiraz Nabi emerged as champion in the men's singles category as Ashley Khalil secured the women's singles title. In the under-23 category, Frank Waddell and Mishka Bihari secured the men's and women's singles titles respectively. Akili Haynes and Tyrese Jeffrey secured the men's doubles title as Mishka Bihari and LaShonte Berkeley emerged as the women's doubles champions. The mixed doubles title was secured by Akili Haynes and Asiya Eastman. Into basketball, action continued in Guyana's 2026 Regional Youth Basketball Tournament with Brickdam Secondary taking on Christchurch Secondary at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall in Georgetown on Friday. Despite 6 points and 5 rebounds from Christchurch's Daniel Worrell, Brickdam Secondary secured a dominant 45-10 victory on the back of 10 points and 8 rebounds from Dontavian Denny. Antoine Salmon also added 10 points in the commanding 35-point victory. Finally, in cricket, action continued with Day 2 of Cricket West Indies Regional 4-Day Championship Final between the Guyana Harpy Eagles and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua and Barbuda on Monday. Resuming on 240 for 9, Trinidad were bowled out for 260 in 73.5 overs as Kimo Paul was the pick of the Guyanese bowlers, finishing with 3 for 28. In response, the Harpy Eagles were bowled out for just 245 in 69.4 overs as Kimo Paul also top scored with 51 and Jonathan Van Lang added 46. The Red Force are yet to commence their second innings as they maintain a narrow 15-run lead heading into the penultimate day. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I am Delwyn Nevlet reminding you to stay in the game.
Ministry probes alleged abuse of Indian workers. HRIM given 24 hours to respond as passports returned. Wet ink SOPs claims rock election fraud case. Increased transportation fares not approved, says Minister EDGHILL. A 94-day parliamentary shutdown irks Forward Guyana movement. International bodies notified. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.